Young Carl Fredricksen meets Ellie, an adventurous tomboy who shares his love for a famous explorer in his faraway land of Paradise Falls hidden in South America. They marry and share a lifetime of happiness until her death. When Carl accidentally hits a construction worker over the head, he is forced to move out of his and Ellie's house and into a retirement. However, when he is packing his things, he remembers the promise he made to Ellie to take her to Paradise Falls, and instead of moving out of his house, he flies away in it carried by thousands of balloons. What he is unaware of is that Russell, an 8-year-old wilderness explorer, has inadvertently stowed away under his porch, hoping to receive his Assisting the Elderly badge.
Ah! Hi, Mr. Fredricksen. It's me, Russell.
Together, Carl and Russell embark on an adventure in South America, meeting talking dogs, an enormous colorful bird, and an elderly explorer with sinister motives.
The movie Up is a very good example of a movie able to stimulate positive discussion around aging. Aside from its fantasy premise, it provides a realistic problem for its protagonist, Carl, in that he is trying to overcome his grief. At the beginning of the movie, Carl Fredricksen is shown to be a grumpy, antisocial, slow, and disabled old man, which fits with most people's perception of older adults.
Carl is experiencing what is known as complicated grief. The Mayo Clinic describes complicated grief as persisting symptoms which last for more than a few months.
Complicated grief impedes both mental and physical health, and in turn the quality of the life of both ones still living.
So the film begins by portraying the negative relationship between the older adults and the rest of society. For example, the construction workers persistently urge Carl to move out and move on. The society's lack of concern seems to demonstrate the false belief that depression is related to aging. In fact, the prevalence of depression does not increase with age. It is the most common issue among all age groups.
When they arrive at Paradise Falls, Carl protects the house at all costs, despite the trouble that arises with Charles Muntz.
However, Carl has a major turning point. He recognizes that Russell and Kevin miss him, which motivates him to leave behind his possessions and begins a new adventure of his own.
Carl shows himself to be able, a quick thinker, and very caring for Russell and the friends they have made in the jungle, Kevin and Doug.
Re-establishing and balancing out social networks after a loss of a significant person can have a buffering effect on individuals who are experiencing grief.
Carl did so by shifting his emotional attachment from Ellie to Russell, Kevin, and Doug. Also, pet ownership may benefit individuals who are experiencing negative life events, like grief.
We can definitely see the benefits of pet ownership through Carl's relationship with the dog, Doug.
Doug! I was hiding under your porch because I love you. Can I stay?
Can you stay? Well, you're my dog, aren't you? And I'm your master.
You are my master? Oh boy! Oh boy!
Good boy.
Russell eventually looks up to Carl as a friend and a mentor, rather than just an elderly man in need of assistance. As well, Carl learns that he can find great purpose through his relationship with Russell.
Carl changes through the process of self-forgiveness and the acceptance of his loss. Amongst this transformation, he finds purpose through his relationship with Russell, Doug, and Kevin. He experiences post-traumatic growth. When people experience post-traumatic growth, they adapt to new beliefs and values, view themselves and the world differently, and appreciate life more.
When Carl was experiencing grief, he was inseparable from his home because it symbolized his connection to his deceased wife.
Carl and Russell come to care for one another and even come to depend on one another. What's more, this relationship provides a way for Carl to escape from his grief. He seeks out new experiences, he uses creativity, and he enjoys physical activities.
Mr. Fredrickson!
This movie would be a good one to watch with an older adult to discuss these issues. It provides an example of the normalcy of feeling sad about losing a spouse and profiles some important ways of dealing with this grief, letting go of any residual guilt, and establishing or maintaining social relationships.